Well, good morning. This is Chris McSwain from Berkshire Hathaway Home Services, Bay Street Realty Group. And boy, I have a pleasure of bringing another local small business owner to your attention today. This is Stephanie Rasmussen and her husband Colby run Lowcountry Window Tinting. And if you don't get your windows tinted around here, you've probably not been here very long, but my guess is that you are thinking about it, and I would suggest that not only do you think about your auto, but maybe your home too. But we're going to learn a lot more about that. Stephanie is the local expert, and I'm really thrilled for her to tell her story. Stephanie, introduce yourself to the group.
I'm Stephanie Rasmussen. I'm actually born and raised right here in Beaufort.
Awesome.
Yep.
Well, what got you into the business?
Long story short, my father had a Radio Shack.
I remember Radio
many,
Shack.
many years ago, and he was able to do like accessories, aftermarket stuff, stereos. And he said, you know, Stephanie, you should learn how to tint windows. And oh no, I will never do that, because I had tried when I was a teenager, and I could not do it. And so one day he says, I think that would be an added benefit. Long story short, fast forward almost 31 years ago, here I am in what was supposed to be a part-time gig. You know, it's like, okay, yeah, we can do tinting. So I learned, I picked up on the trade, and I learned, and I started tinting, and here we are.
Awesome. Well, tell me, what does it take to be a really great window tinter?
Attention to detail, you know, the quality of the workmanship. You got to take pride in what you're doing. It looks easy, especially when somebody watches us do it. Oh, that looks easy, I can do it. And then we laugh. We're like, well, you do it on your own and take a video so we can watch. But, you know, some people naturally have the knack for it. It just depends.
Well, I tell you, you make it look easy. That's my statement, because it takes a lot of skill to make a perfect product. And I happen to know, because I am a customer too, that you have a lot of technology to help you. So,
yes.
For example, here's one of the tricks of the trade. How do you get all those shapes to be just about perfect when you put it on?
Well, when we install it, we make the piece of film larger. Like we pre-cut it larger than it has to be.
But you pre-cut it.
Right.
With a...
Well, on the cars, it's through a computer cut system.
See there?
On the houses, we put it up and then we do the final cut. But on the cars, it's a plotter system that kind of is like what you would use to make stickers or decals. But we run the system through and it cuts the windows that we need to install.
See, if you were thinking about doing this yourself, that's the number one reason right there, because there's just no way you're going to have the skill and the attention that a computer program is going to bring, particularly for the cars.
Well, and you know what really switched us to that, because for 9 years I did what's called freehand. I didn't run it through a computer.
Oh, wow.
But I decided to start using it because, you know, you have these cars that come in that are very, very expensive. Glass is softer today, the quality of the glass. So when you take a knife, I mean, stainless steel is the best type of blade to use on glass, but even stainless steel can scratch some of the soft glass that's out there. So it takes us off of the customer's car with a knife. Therefore, you know, there's no chance of slipping to cut anything because you're not using a knife on the car. You're cutting it through the system, tracing it on your glass that's holding the pattern into place, and then you're installing it on the car.
Well, talk to me about windshields, you know, because there is a law enforcement provision that varies state by state. Around here, having at least something to block the glare is amazing. What a difference it makes in your ability to drive and not squint. But what are some of the rules around that?
Well, the state of South Carolina does not allow you to install a full front windshield with window film. We have a product that is very popular here. It's our ceramic based film. It's a clear product. When it goes on the car, you can't tell that it's there, and it blocks 86% of the heat.
Wow.
That technically is not legal because it's a product that's installed down the entire front windshield. Hopefully legislation might one day re-look at window film because it's kind of a very, very old law that should be revisited.
Yeah, what a trade-off, though. I mean, I certainly respect what you just stated, but there is a safety issue of having to drive with
Yes.
a lot of glare coming in.
Yeah, and the majority of our customers, they have a medical waiver. When we do apply a full front windshield, they have some type of eye issue. From what I understand, there's several different like light intensities that can affect driving. I mean, I've got a few customers that have I can't remember what they call the disease or the skin condition, but they basically cannot be in the sun at all.
Oh, wow.
And I've done dark window film for them, but bless their heart, when they just to come from the car inside, they're covered, like trying to walk into the shop just so they don't get messed up with the sun. There's not many of them here, but I do have several customers that are regulars with that.
That's awesome.
Yep.
What a way to help somebody out, even medically. I had no idea it provided that type of a benefit for that condition. People think of window film as, it's sort of, I can go to a retailer and buy it. But I know enough to know that the technology that goes into window film is absolutely amazing. Could you give our viewers a little bit of a sense of what science goes into the manufacturer and the evolution of what film has become today? Because you mentioned ceramic.
Yes.
That may not be a word many people are familiar with, but that is part of what gives these amazing characteristics of performance to the film.
Correct. So, many, many moons ago, the only thing people could get their hands on was a dyed polyester, a dyed-based film. And unfortunately, once it got out in the sun, because they use all these colors from the spectrum to come up with this product, once it got in the sun, it would bleed or it would turn different colors. Like you would see cars riding around that look really, really rich in purple, or these big, huge bubbles on their back windows, or even a bluish look to it. That's typically a failing product. But many years ago, probably 20 years ago is when they started with the ceramic films, because before they brought in ceramics, they had metallized products. Metallized products always gave a higher heat reduction, but then what happened was there's so many electronics going on inside of the new vehicles that there was interference.
Oh, wow, amazing.
So they scrambled, they come up with a ceramic product. Ceramic products do not interfere with any of the electronics. They perform amazingly well. So we give our customers an option here. We have our base dyed series film, we have a single layer ceramic, and we have a dual layer ceramic product. So to educate the consumer so they make the right choice.
Yeah, there are a lot of choices. Thank you, Stephanie. There are a lot of choices, and if you have never had window film and are really seriously considering it, this is a great place to come, because one of the things that I enjoyed from Stephanie is the amount of time she invested in my understanding and education to make a good decision. These diagrams that are behind us here reflect some of the examples that you have as a consumer to choose from. And Stephanie was also nice enough to give me a couple of small samples to take home and actually apply to a window that we were considering within our home, to give us an idea of what the difference of darknesses and reflection those properties would actually produce for us. For example, I would think the level of darkness is one criteria, and the amount of reflectivity, both outward and inward, are some criteria that people use in making their decisions.
Yes.
Is that fair?
Yes, absolutely. And you find that you typically have two different styles. For a house, they either love the sunlight and they don't like all the harmful things that come with it. UV rays, heat, glare, that fades furniture, fabrics, floors, etc. And we have a product for that, typically ceramic films, because ceramic films are going to give high heat reducing numbers while still allowing a ton of natural light. Then you have the other customers that the glare is so bad on their TV they can't even watch TV in the middle of the day. They need a room darkening film. So there's something for everybody. There really is. I've got clear products that do a huge job of reducing the UV and the heat, and I've got darkened products.
Yeah, it really depends upon the customer being pretty specific about the problem they're really trying to solve.
Right.
And sometimes it can be more than one problem, and you help them think through the balance between the different choices in their decisions.
Yes, and we do free in-home consultations as well.
Oh, nice.
You know, we go to the homeowner's house, we talk to them, figure out, okay, what are you trying to accomplish? And then we get them to understand the different films and how they're going to perform and what they're going to look like.
So let me ask, have you ever had a situation where the customer says, well, I think I just want you to do that window?
Yes.
And then when you go into the house, what happens?
Once they see that window done, they're saying, do you have enough with you to go ahead and do this one and that one? Most of the time when I go to an install, I've got plenty of extra film because
Sure.
it is an addictive thing. Once you see it in your home
Oh, yeah.
or on your car, then you realize the benefits that are there.
Yeah, what you've been missing out on.
Yes.
And
And it's instant gratification. It's not like you have to wait 30 days for it to work. It instantly works as
sure.
soon as we put it up.
you know, in this area, you know, wind can be a problem, particularly during the hurricane season. And my guess is that there are some films that have an added strengthening attribute to the window, so that if something, you know, a projectile was going to come in, an unfilmed window, that projectile may come through, but with a film protected window, it's either going to be reduced or minimized in some way. Is that also true?
Yeah, security films are made and designed to hold the glass in the frame in the event of flying debris or, you know, something hits it from the outside. Now I will tell you, here in this area, it really just depends on the impact. Most new construction and renovations have impact glass in place. But security film is a good retrofit for businesses, homes, etc. If you don't have impact glass and you're trying to protect, especially in the commercial industry, you
Sure.
know, for breaking and entering. Yes.
So if you had an older home that was built in the 80s that may not have the same building code provisions that you were just mentioning,
Right.
this would be a reasonable add to your existing windows without having to replace your windows to make them impact resistant.
Yes, and we offer the security film in different levels as well. So
Okay.
you not only get the energy efficiency, you get the added strength to the glass as well.
But Stephanie, you know, your shirt says Lowcountry, but you're just not a Lowcountry affiliated organization. You have a global network of colleagues that are in the same profession.
Yes.
Most people probably would not know that. I did not understand that until Stephanie explained it. Please, could you say more about that?
Well, we are a Lumar dealer, and we are part of the Select Pro group. Select Pro means we meet specific criteria to be allowed to carry their high-end automotive and their high-end residential commercial films. With that being said, we also have a huge network of other Select Pro dealers. And we all network together primarily through Facebook, and then once a year we have a big get together. You know, they alternate it, West Coast, East Coast. So when it's on the East Coast, I take my team and we go down and we enjoy a few days of them kind of wining and dining us and giving us the latest information.
Nice.
But as far as even outside of that, through the Lumar Select program, you know, we can contact consumers in a different country. Our warranty is nationwide for the cars here. For residential and commercial, it's a lifetime warranty. And the good thing about that is if you come here and you get your windows tinted, and we're a huge military town, we're gonna write you a warranty that basically guarantees your film. When you get stationed to another area, if you have a problem with your film, you pull your warranty brochure out, you call the 1-800 number, or you log on to the internet, put in your zip code, it'll send you to a dealer close to you, they'll redo your film.
Oh, Stephanie, that's
Free of
awesome.
charge, usually.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Few and far in between, there's been incidences where maybe what's legal for us in South Carolina is not legal in that specific state, but they typically go by where the vehicle's registered.
Well, you mentioned military, and let's just step aside for a moment and let everybody see what's behind us here. because I want to actually expand on that. I know you have strong feelings about those who have served, and you offer discounts and benefits. Could you say more about that to the audience?
Well, being born and raised here in Beaufort, my father being in business for many years, we knew that this community was a large military family. Now, of course, my grandparents and great-grandparents served, but my parents did not. So I just always knew that without the military, Beaufort wouldn't be what it was. When I say what it was is different than what it is today. But that's just growing up as a child. Beaufort was made by these bases. Parris Island, the air station, the Naval Hospital. And then, of course, now, you have people that retire and move here, and it's, a great place to live. But I've always felt strongly about the military because I myself wanted to go into the service. I chose to be a mother instead. But I always wanted that, and I have the utmost respect for the people that do serve and protect us.
And how about the police, fire?
Absolutely, first responders as well. So military, first responders, we give all 10% discount to because we appreciate your service.
Well, and speaking of service, you guys here go well above and beyond. What would be a parting comment to the audience about why they should want to come here and have their windows tinted among the other choices in the area?
Well, I think when from the time you walk into our door to the time you walk out of our door, you are doing us a favor by being here, and we appreciate that. So everything we do here is to give you the knowledge. Some people just want a flat price and they don't care about anything else, but we always make sure to itemize out, this is our price, this is why our price is how it is. Educate them. And 98% of the consumers, maybe even 99, make an appointment and come back.
Well, I'm not surprised because when I came in, you were certainly patient with me. I asked a lot of questions and you answered every one of them. You were very patient and I never felt any pressure. And I think and know that I and my family made a good decision by coming here to Lowcountry.
Very
Stephanie,
good.
thank you so much. It's a pleasure to get to know you better through this
Yes.
interview, and hopefully a lot of other people are going to watch and get to know you and come in and get some Lowcountry service from Lowcountry Window Tinting.
Yeah, come get your car done or give me a call. I'll come give you an evaluation in your home for free. It doesn't cost anything.
All right. Thank you so much, Stephanie.
You're welcome. Thank you.